DTR, man, he was crying at the end of the game. That's how you know that this was important. That's how you know this was important. Because he played bad when they played the Ravens, but he was given I think he was told the day of that he was going to be starting against the Baltimore Ravens. Number one, really up there for top 3 defense in the league, right? Then he gets told this week that out of nowhere, Deshaun Watson is injured for the season and he's going to be starting. Not PJ Walker, but DTR is going to be starting. He gets a whole week of preparation, but he still has to play one of the best defenses in the league in the Steelers. And this is the type of game that the Steelers win. They have not lost a 1-score game in the past 9 times that's happened. That's how good the Steelers are, because their defense is elite. They have a defensive player of the year candidate every year in TJ Watt. Sound defense, sound offensive scheme where they just run the ball and just tire you out. And the Browns still won. The Browns out-Steelered the Steelers. And DTR did not look great, but that last drive, he did. The Browns are 7-3. The Detroit Lions are 8-2. That's the first time that's happened since JFK was president. That was 62, by the way. So this is an amazing time, and it makes me believe that we are in an alternate dimension. Because no matter what you do to the Browns, they still winning games. No matter what you do. Deshaun Watson, he gets fucked up. It's the second time he got majorly injured this year. We still winning games. We won with PJ Walker. We beat the 49ers with PJ Walker. You see what the 49ers did this week? You see what the 49ers done the past 2 weeks? They mollywop cats. I know Debo was injured. Yeah. I don't give a shit. That's still a good team. We beat them. We beat the Bengals. We've beaten the teams we're supposed to beat. Deshaun Watson played with a basically no shoulder and a high ankle sprain for the 4th quarter, and he was elite. And you know what? This is proving my points wrong, because I made a video saying that the season was over for the Browns. With a 7-3 record, if they win 3 more games down the stretch, they're basically in the playoffs. The AFC is, they don't have a lot of elite teams. And you can see, the Steelers, we beat them, so they have a problem with their offense. And the Bengals, Joe Burrow's out. We tied with the Ravens. The Ravens are ahead of us. We're number 2, but we're in the wild card right now. I don't know if we're going to be able to win the division, but a 7-3 Browns team without a consistent quarterback and Nick Chubb being injured lets you know that this is just a good team. This is just an elite team. Myles Garrett is going to be the defensive player of the year. I don't give a fuck what if he wins the stat or he has all the sacks in the world or not. I don't care. I don't care if he's a sack leader or not. Because if you look at the advanced metrics, his tackle for losses, his domination, his win percentage is so high that we haven't really seen a defensive end like that before since, the days of the 90s. So the Browns, they are just a resilient team. They're kind of showing up to be yeah, we're not a player ran team. We don't have that one elite player that's just going to boost us up. I mean, you could say they got Myles Garrett. He's the fucking MVP of the team and could be the MVP of the league, depending on how shit shakes out. But they're proving that you can win if you just have a cohesive team with talent. They are the best defense since the 2006 Steelers, which won the Super Bowl. Can they win the Super Bowl? Can the Browns win the Super Bowl? If Nick Chubb was not injured, I would say yeah. I would say yes. But do not be surprised if Nick Chubb comes back, because I'm not this year. Like I said, we're living in an alternate reality. We're in a different dimension. We on some old Doctor Strange type shit. So do not be surprised if he comes back. But realistically, the funny thing is this is something that you probably don't even know. Nick Chubb averaged about 6 yards per carry. We've been averaging about 5.8 yards a carry as a team since he's been injured. So the offensive line is still making that push, and we still got running backs that can, get up there. Ford and Hunt has been doing their fucking thing. One of the better tight ends in the league. But with all that being said, defense can win you championships, right? But you gotta have an offense that can put up more than 13 points. So DTR, they just signed Flacco, which is insane that he's a Brown after all those years as a Raven. But somebody, if they could just put up 20 points a game, this team could get deep in the playoffs. Let's just say it like that. Because I don't think they can win the Super Bowl, because you have to go up against some very, 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 very elite quarterbacks that can make plays happen. That's going to be really hard to defeat. But the AFC is down, man. Like, the Chiefs don't look like the Chiefs. The Chargers, they don't look great. They look awful. They're like they gonna fire their coach. The Buffalo Bills look awful. They don't look like they're like a really cohesive team right now. They win one, lose one, win one, lose one. The Ravens, we beat them already, right? But we don't have Watson. And last time DCR played them, it was a fucking massacre, right? So, but I think DCR will get better because he's going to have so many weeks to get better before we get to the playoffs. The AFC is kind of down this year. So is the NFC. It's not like an elite team that you can point out and be like, yo, this team is the best team in the league. So the Browns could possibly do it because they have the number one defense. And if you can stop teams from scoring and you can stop teams from having a lot of yards and your offense can just put up some consistency, shit, why not? Why couldn't they? Why couldn't they? Let's look at the standings real quick, because I think that will help answer this question, all right? So if we look at the playoff standings, let's just look at the playoff picture. Or we're just going to look at the standings. So you got Miami Dolphins, they're 7-3. Buffalo Bills are 6-5. You got the Baltimore Ravens 8-3. Cleveland Browns are 7-3. Pittsburgh Steelers are probably still in it because they're 6-4. Then you got Jacksonville. You got the Houston Texans, who are 6-4. And then you got the Indianapolis. Then you got the Chiefs. Maybe one of those teams like the Broncos possibly can make it, but it seems like Houston Texans going to win. Does any of those teams scare you? Miami Dolphins do. Miami's Dolphins scare us because they have an incredible offense. But let's just be honest. If you can get to Tua and extend that window of his passing ability, like if he can't get the ball out in 2.5 seconds, you can just hold up a little bit on defense. You can stop Miami Dolphins. They've been beaten this year. Buffalo Bills, I'm not afraid of them. I'm sorry. Just not. Baltimore Ravens, we already beat them. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're inconsistent as shit. And you don't know exactly what you're going to get from Lawrence in the playoffs yet. The motherfucker threw like 5 interceptions and then threw like 4 touchdowns and won the game. So you don't know. And in Kansas City, they don't scare me as much as they used to because they don't have any elite wide receivers. And you can't just keep throwing to running backs and tight ends and win the fucking Super Bowl. So can the Cleveland Browns really make it to the Super Bowl? Yeah, why not? Let me know what you think in the comments below.